We are going to work on learning target 1C, which is solving inequalities. If it helps you, go ahead and draw your line down the middle. My first step is to recognize that I have a number outside of my parentheses. So I need to do the distributive property. So 2 times x gives me 2x. I then do 2 times a positive 4, which gives me a positive 8. I drop down my inequality sign, and I'm left with 22. Now, just like for solving equations, I need to get rid of my positive 8 to get my x by itself. The opposite of positive 8 is minus 8. So I take away 8 to both sides. My 8's are now gone, and I'm left with 2x, my inequality sign, and 16. Now, in order to get rid of a times 2, I divide both by 2. And I'm left with x is greater than or equal to 8. And that is my final answer. Let's look at a different example. This one only has one extra step. So again, I start with the distributive property. I do negative 3 times x, which gives me negative 3x. I then do negative 3 times 1, which gives me negative 3. I then drop down my plus 6, my inequality sign, and my 30. I'm going to go ahead and ignore this stuff over here and first get rid of my plus 6 by doing the opposite, which is minus 6 to both sides. My 6's cancel, and I'm left with negative 3x minus 3 is less than or equal to 24. I again want x to stay, so I cover that up and I get rid of my minus 3 by adding 3 to both sides. My 3's cancel, and I'm left with negative 3x is less than or equal to 27. My final step is to divide both sides by negative 3. I do 27 divided by negative 3, which gives me a negative 9. But remember, whenever I divide both sides by a negative, on the bottom, I need to flip my inequality sign. So my answer is x is greater than or equal to negative 9. One more problem here. Now we have x's on 2 different sides. In order to get them on one side, I always like to bring my right one over to the left. So I get rid of that by doing the opposite of minus 5x. My 5x's are gone, and 10 take away 5 is 5x. I drop down my plus 20. Let's go ahead and make this a greater than or equal to sign. My inequality sign, and my 45. I then need to take away 20 to do the opposite, and I'm left with 5x is greater than or equal to 25. My last step is to divide both sides by 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5, and I ask myself if I divide it by a positive, it stays, or if it divides by a negative, I flip it. So I'm going to keep this the same.